I'm painting Mephiston. I'm painting his armour gold. Why am I painting it gold? Well, that's a good excuse to watch the video. Howdy folks, I'm Autumn Witch, and in this video I am going to be painting up Mephiston, who you see here in all his completed glory. Now I would just like to say that, well, I wouldn't like to say it, it was bloody annoying. However, 3 of my video files got corrupted somehow by making this video, so I shall annotate a little bit further on. It shouldn't make too much of a difference to the video overall, but I'm just letting you know beforehand. We started with a base coat of high coat white primer. As you can see in this photograph, I did the whole thing as sub-assemblies like I did with my sanguinary priest. If you want to see how that works, well, it's quite straightforward, but head back into the Blood Angels playlist on this channel and see for yourself. Now, let's crack on and skip past the fact that I painted his robes with Vallejo burnt red, and I painted the cloak with Vallejo black. We shall continue from there. Now I'm going to do something a little different, and that is Glittering Loot Speed Paint. I'm going to be putting this over everywhere that I eventually plan to be red. This is going to create a really nice base for a metallic red for the armour. Kind of like the Heresy era Thousand Suns, that candy apple red is gonna look fantastic. Okay, well, that's gonna need some tidying up once the gold is dry, and while I'm waiting to do that, I will grab snakebite leather, because there are some gloves that need painting. Right, so here I have gone with the white over various bits to tidy up where some of the gold or the red or the black has spilled. Now in the lore, and in all of the artwork, Mephiston's armour is red, even though he's a librarian. But I think this is going to look really cool using Bar Red over Glittering Loot by the Army Painter. Excuse the creaking on this chair. It's a new one and I'm still getting used to making it not sound like farts. Just getting that lovely rich golden base, and it looks fantastic. And then I'm going to come in with the black. In this case, it is Black Templar. Has a nice blue tint to it. I mean, they probably won't be seen from most angles, but oh no, they're there, and that's all that matters. Now you can see here, or can if I focus, you can see here that the metallic speed paint is pulled away a little bit, acting kind of like those contrast paints do. So I'm going to have to come back in and tidy up, but then because I'm not a particularly neat painter, I normally have to do that anyway. Now I'm going to do the pipes. Loop round from his backpack to his collar. These are the standard pipes that all librarians have, and I'm gonna stick with modern tradition, which is a nice bright yellow. Doesn't matter if it looks a little too bright, because it's very easy to bring the colours back down. Right, I'm grabbing some skeleton horde, and I'm going to go over any bones or anything that might look a little parchmenty. And now, some more metallics. Polished silver. Doing this over the gold gives it a more archaic metallic look, which I find befits a character like Mephiston. And I shall fill in the parts of the pistol as well. But of course, naturally I'm leaving this part here, or this part here, white. So that is where the glow is going to be. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do the sword yet. A blue glow is kind of what I've done with the other power weapons in my Blood Angels army, but I'm wondering if something a bit more exotic would better suit the fact that, I mean, he's Mephiston. Now while I've got it on the palette, I'm going to just block in all of these pipes on the scenic part of the base. Okay, with everything tidied up, I am going to grab, if I can find it, I'll put it here somewhere, right in front of me, there we are, Nuln Oil. I'm also going to grab some contrast medium, and I am going to mix up a very thin contrast paint, 6 parts contrast medium to 3 parts Nuln Oil. This is going to go all over. See how it just runs into all those details but doesn't block them out. This also goes very nicely over white, but I think it makes the white look better than even using apothecary white, which is designed for white. So yeah, I'm going to come in with it neat, make sure it doesn't pool like it was doing there, and then of course if you're going into the shadows to shade, use a more concentrated version as opposed to the mix. You know what? It would appear that in wiping off the chest, I have restored the gold on the nipples. Now, I could go back and correct that, but you know what? No. Mephiston has got his nips out. I'm just wiping any excess off the gold at the end, so that the main gold comes through, but it also keeps the wash in the recesses. And now the backpack. And you can see it just completes that aged metal look. Okay, so here's a bit of missing footage where basically I started highlighting the robes up from the base of Vallejo Burnt Red through Corn Red up to Mephiston Red, and that's where we continue from. Okay, and round to the back once more, and hitting, and if it's a bit much, you can use a digit or two to feather it a bit. See, I've made a bit of a boo-boo there, but let's clear the paint off the brush, and you can wipe it away. No problem. For the last highlight, I've got Wazdaka Red. Now it may look a little heavier. See, I'm just following the light, but if it looks a bit heavier, you can use a finger or a thumb or some other kind of implement, although it might be difficult to maintain that level of accuracy using other body parts. But who am I to tell you what to do? It's your hobby. You use whichever appendages you like. That's looking good. Now we're going to do something similar for the cape. which will require Eshing Grey and Eshing Grey. Eshing Grey is such a great colour to highlight up from black with, and it's essentially the same technique that we did on the robes. Okay, and then I'm going to just hit around the collar, and then Eshing Grey. I shall actually mix in with the Eshing Grey on my palette. You have to take my word for it, because my camera's not pointing that way. And here we are, just on the very highest points, and a smudgy finger. And of course, on around the collar. And so those are the robes, I feel, pretty much done. Now, this is another point where I lost a piece of footage. Essentially, all that you've missed is that I painted the skin on the face with Glum and Flesh, and the hair with just Seraphim Sepia. And now I shall go forth and make it look good with highlights and stuff. Now I'm going to do some more work on the head, and I'm going to need Pallid Witch Flesh. We're going to just get some lines on his face. Yep. Hitting that nose. Get some those lines on his forehead. Hey, it would help if it was in focus. Okay. So now I'm going to grab Viejo Dead White. That's getting the nodes on his temples. And let's get those eyes. Hit those teeth as well. Yeah, with the body is I'm going to go back in and hit where all the nodes are going to be as I prepare to do a big globe. But whilst I'm here, I might as well just get that nice highlight on the wings. Get a line of that fantastic dead white colour onto every individual feather on the model. Now I'm going to grab Spiritstone Red, because there are numerous blood drop gems on the model that require a little bit of standing out. Another effect, I'm getting Palisar Blue. I normally use Gilliman Blue for this, but not only is the paint out of production, I'm also starting to run rather low. And the head. And when I go over, and I give it a brush with the finger, it takes the colour off the top to reveal the white below to show like a actual core. But let's go into those eyes. And then I'm coming back in, get back to a glowing core. And I'm just gonna hit those nodes again with a little bit of white. But I'm going to come back in to clean up. So going back and forth. Okay, so I have made myself a new dry brush by just clipping off the ends of an old brush. Needs to be a small one. Going here. What that's going to do is brighten up the area around where I plan to have the energy glow. So it looks like light spill, which I'm doing on both sides. Also, this is going to get done on the sword as well. And I'm letting it spill onto the hilt, so the hilt can catch some of that glow. Okay, I'm going to use Diamond Blue, because this is my preferred paint for plasma weapons, and I'm letting the blue overflow onto the areas where the dry brushes hit. There'll be a second phase to that, but let me just... There we go. Okay, now, the pistol is still wet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to feather pure white in around the bottom, which gives the impression of a glowing hot energy core. Okay, you can see I've put them together now, and I'm just running Talisar Blue over the wider parts of the blade. Just being very careful to try and not undo any of the actual lines. Now, for the glass, I'm going to put a reasonably thick coat, so reasonably, of gloss varnish over any vials and bottles, just to give a thicker coat and to give it the look that it is behind glass. And here is the finished dude. I painted a little bit of power ripple on his sword and came in on the pistol with a little bit more white. As you can see, the basing has been done, identical to the basing on his mate here, the Sanguinary Priest, who appears to be getting it in the back of the head for some reason. But yeah, so let me know what you think, or don't if you don't like it. It's entirely up to you. If you could like, share and subscribe, that would be great. We're edging towards 1,000 subscribers, and it'd be nice to hit that before the new year. We also have a Ko-fi account if you want to bung us a few quid to keep the lights on, or more realistically, to keep us in paint. And we have an Handiwork Games affiliate link, which also gives us a little bit of a kickback, and there is a Discord server. All links are in the description below. Yeah, so that is our Mephiston. I hope you enjoyed this video. What are you all painting at the moment? It would be great to know. I'm Autumn Witch, and I'll catch you next time on Bleeding Tree Gaming.